I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these posts. You always think infidelity happens to someone else, to couples who were already struggling or distant. But here I am, sitting alone in an empty living room, staring at the box of decorations that should have made our 10th anniversary party a night to remember. It's strange how life can flip so suddenly. A week ago, I was planning a surprise vow renewal. Now, I'm questioning everything about my marriage. Let me back up. My wife, Melissa, and I have been married for nearly a decade. We met in college. I was the quiet engineering student, she was the social butterfly studying event management. Somehow, opposites really did attract. She pulled me out of my shell, I grounded her when life got too chaotic. We built a beautiful life, careers, a home, even a rescue dog we both adore. Melissa loved throwing parties. It was her passion and her profession. So when I suggested an anniversary party with our closest friends and family, she lit up. "You never want parties, this will be amazing," she said, wrapping her arms around me. I hired a local party planner named Ethan. I found him through Melissa's friend network. He was highly recommended and seemed like the kind of guy who'd make this event effortless. Mid-30s, charming, with an eye for detail. From the beginning, I noticed he and Melissa got along a little too well. They'd linger over mood boards, laugh during tastings, text each other late into the evening. But I chalked it up to them both being passionate about events. The first real warning sign came 2 weeks ago. I got home early from work. I told Melissa my last meeting was cancelled, and I wanted to surprise her by cooking dinner. When I walked in, I heard voices, hers and Ethan's, coming from the backyard. I moved quietly to the window and saw them sitting way too close on the patio couch, her hand resting on his arm as they laughed over something on his phone. A spike of jealousy rose in my throat. I told myself I was being paranoid. They're just planning the party. You trust her. But that night, when I asked casually how the meeting went, Melissa's smile seemed forced. "Oh, just the usual. I think we've got everything sorted now." No mention of Ethan being there for hours. After that, I started noticing more small things. Melissa's phone, which used to live on the kitchen counter, was suddenly glued to her. She started working late more often, supposedly meeting with Ethan to finalize details. When I asked if I could help with the party, she brushed me off. "It's all under control. You just relax and show up." Last weekend was the final straw. Melissa told me she had a full day of venue prep with Ethan. I decided to surprise her by bringing lunch. When I arrived at the hall, the place was empty. No sign of my wife, no sign of Ethan. Confused, I called her. No answer. An hour later, she texted back. "Sorry, super busy, can't talk." I felt like something had cracked inside me. I did something I never thought I'd do. I checked her iPad, which she often left synced to her phone. What I found shattered me. A string of messages between her and Ethan, laced with inside jokes and subtle flirting. One stood out. "I can't wait to have you all to myself after this party's over." And Melissa's reply, "Neither can I. I wish we didn't have to sneak around so much." I felt like I'd been punched. Numb, I scrolled further. There were no outright admissions of sleeping together, but the implication was clear. They weren't just friends. My wife, the woman I'd spent a decade building a life with, was cheating on me with the man I'd hired to make our anniversary special. Since then, I've been a wreck. I haven't confronted her yet. I wanted to wait until I could gather my thoughts. Right now, she thinks everything is fine. She's still buzzing around, finalizing party details as if we're a happy couple. But inside, something is broken. I don't know what comes next. All I know is this party, the one meant to celebrate our love, is now a twisted farce. And I can't stop thinking about what I'll say when the truth finally comes out. It's surreal how life can fracture in slow motion, even when you know the break is coming. The morning of the party, I sat in our kitchen, staring blankly at a half-eaten piece of toast. Melissa buzzed around, humming to herself, poring over last-minute checklists. From the outside, we looked like the perfect couple. But inside, I was a volcano ready to erupt. I'd spent the past 2 nights barely sleeping, oscillating between rage, grief, and numbness. The messages between her and Ethan burned in my mind, replaying on a loop. I had screen capped everything and stored it in a folder labeled Truth, a fitting name for what I was about to unleash. I still hadn't confronted her. I needed the right moment, one she couldn't squirm out of. And somewhere in the pit of my stomach, a darker instinct had taken root. If she wanted this party so badly, this perfect image to parade to friends and family, I was going to give it to her. And then, I was going to take it all away. The venue was gorgeous. Lights twinkled from the rafters, champagne glasses sparkled on white linen, and the band softly played standards in the background. Melissa looked stunning in a deep green dress. You wouldn't know she was about to lose everything. Guests began to arrive, friends, family, old college pals. I plastered on a smile and played the part of the doting husband. Meanwhile, I watched her. Every time Ethan entered the room or leaned in close to whisper something in her ear, my fists clenched. I waited. Dinner came and went. Toasts were made. The dance floor filled. I saw Melissa and Ethan dancing, not inappropriately, but with a familiarity that twisted the knife further. Finally, the mic was passed to me for my speech. My hand shook slightly as I took it, but my voice came out steady. Thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate 10 wonderful years of marriage. I glanced at Melissa. Her eyes were sparkling, her smile radiant. Marriage is about trust, about honesty, about building a life together. And sometimes. I paused, scanning the crowd. Sometimes it's about facing hard truths. The room grew quieter. I want to thank the man who helped make tonight possible. Ethan, your work on this event has been unforgettable. A few polite laughs. Ethan grinned, oblivious. And Melissa, my beautiful wife. You've always told me you value transparency in our relationship. So tonight, I'm going to honor that value. I pulled out my phone, opened the Truth folder, and tapped the screen. The projector behind me flickered to life. There, blown up for everyone to see, were the texts. Gasps rippled through the room. I found these messages between my wife and our party planner, I said evenly. Apparently, their collaboration extended beyond party details. Melissa's face drained of color. Ethan looked like he'd been slapped. The room fell into stunned silence. Some guests awkwardly stood. Others stared, wide-eyed. Melissa finally found her voice. Please, we can talk about this at home. This isn't the place. No, Melissa. You chose this place. You chose this night. I'm just giving you what you asked for, honesty. I set the mic down and walked out. Later that night, she came home to find me packing a suitcase. Her makeup was smeared, eyes red. Please, she whispered. It was a mistake. It never should have happened. I looked at her, the woman I once adored, now a stranger. Was it a mistake, or was it a choice you made over and over? I asked. She couldn't answer. Tears streamed down her face. I loved you, I said. But I won't share you. Not with him, not with anyone. I walked out. Drove to a hotel. Slept for the first time in days. It's been 2 weeks. The party is now local gossip. Some friends have reached out in support, others don't know what to say. Melissa keeps texting, begging for a second chance. I've started speaking with a lawyer. The pain is still raw. The betrayal feels like a wound that might never fully close. But beneath the hurt, there's also a strange sense of peace. I gave her my trust. She broke it. Now, I'm taking back my life.